Let us look at another concept. Reynolds number is an important parameter whether you be in school or in college. Whenever you study fluids and motions associated with fluids, you will always come across this term. This is abbreviated as RE. Reynolds number is associated with the motion of the fluid, and from the idea of Reynolds number, we can state a lot of things about the fluid. It gives us an idea of how fast the fluid is traveling. So it gives us an idea about the speed of the fluid. It gives us an idea about the nature of the flow. It also gives us an idea of how the fluid or how the flow changes nature or makes transitions. This quantity is defined by this. Where rho is the density of the fluid, V is the velocity of the fluid, D is the diameter of the pipe the fluid is flowing through, and eta is the coefficient of viscosity. Note that here, when we are considering this to be the diameter of the pipe, this does not mean that Reynolds number is a concept associated with flows only through pipes. We can also have situations when we have a large plate and some fluid is going over this plate. In this case, obviously we won't have a pipe or a channel which has some diameter. So this quantity is not supposed to be said as the diameter of the pipe. Rather, this should be said as the length scale of the flow concerned. When you will study more about Reynolds number and fluids later in engineering, you will discover that there is a phenomena associated with a flow something of this sort. Let's say flow over a flat plate or flow over a large surface. There is a phenomena associated there. And you will need to consider the vertical height, say h, to deal with Reynolds number. For internal flows of this format, the length scale is nothing but the diameter. But external flows like this, also known as open channel flows, this is a closed channel flow. Let me write it here. This is, let's say, pipes are associated with closed channel flows. Plates are associated with open channel flows. So when we consider Reynolds number for things like this, our length scale changes to this vertical height. Sometimes we will also see that our length scale is this, the length of the plate. If we have an infinite plate, then the length what we consider, let's say L, this becomes associated with a concept known as the boundary layer concept. This is basically out of your scope, so we won't discuss what is this. But for now, you can know that when we consider Reynolds number, the length scale associated when we talk about a boundary layer is the length of the plate. Let me state some facts related to Reynolds number. Let's say Reynolds number is, say, RED, which is Reynolds number of length scale D. If this is less than 2000, note that Reynolds number is a dimensionless quantity. Eta has dimensions m, l minus 1, t minus 1. Rho has dimensions m, l minus 3. Velocity has dimensions of lt minus 1, and d has the dimensions of l. So this gets cancelled off with this cancels off with this, and this cancels off with this, making Reynolds number a dimensionless quantity. So if Reynolds number is less than 2000, what we really have is a streamline flow. If Reynolds number is greater than 2000, but it is less than 3000, then what we have is a transitional flow. By transitional flow, we mean that the flow switches from streamline to turbulent, or vice versa. By turbulent flow, what we mean is Reynolds number should be greater than 3000. Then we have is turbulent flow. Let us consider viscous effects in a fluid flow. In fluid flow, like we had in friction, the frictional force was given by mu times the normal reaction. Similarly, in case of viscous effects, F viscous is given by minus eta times A into this quantity. This quantity is known as the velocity gradient. As gradient implies, we are talking about a slope. Velocity gradient is basically the slope of the graph between velocity and the vertical height. In differential form, we can write it as dv by dy. Here v is velocity which is perpendicular to the vertical, or when we consider the entire thing, we are considering variation of velocity perpendicular to the direction of flow. So what we have really is, let's say we have a velocity of the fluid in this direction. We consider or we analyze the velocity variation in the vertical direction. So let's say at some point here velocity vector is something like this. At a point above it, velocity vector is this much. At a point above it, velocity vector is this much, and so on. Something like this. So this variation of velocity is basically dv by dy. So this is minus eta times A into dv by dy. A here is the area of contact between two fluid layers. So what we see is the viscous force depends on the coefficient of viscosity, on the area of contact, as well as the velocity gradient at the layer concerned.